Today is our last class, okay, and I have tried to cover a few things. So the topic was planning and yes, planning and evaluation in health programs. So I have also included implementation and monitoring. Okay, are you able to see the slide today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, so first of all, when we talk about planning, what is planning? So it is basically a decision making about what anything needs to be done, what will be the processes which will be included, and what all resources will be utilized to reach an particular objective. Whenever we talk about any health education and health promotion processes, so planning is very important. As we all know that many prerequisites are required if we want to do anything. For example, if we even simply we plan for everything now. Even if we want to cook something, we plan for that. Even we want to like build a house. So similarly, if we talk about health education or health promotion processes, in the similar way, we need resources. What all resources will be there? Mostly logistics, then human resource will be there, then what activities will be carried out, they will be part of that dissemination, target audience. So these are certain things which need to be taken care. So, and we like it is written in the definition that it is an anticipatory decision making. Anticipatory means we anticipate ki, okay, if we are going to go by these blueprints, then the desired outcome will be this. The outcome is anticipated. Okay. And as written in the next line, that it is central. Okay. So basically, it is the focus point. Planning is the main and focus point for any health education and health promotion processes. Now, what is the purpose? Why actually we need it? So, most important is use of scarce resources, basically optimum use of whatever resources which are available. Then also avoid any kind of duplication. So for example, in a program, if certain activities are going on and we want to develop a new health education, health promotion strategy. So if we know that like already these schemes are going on or these activities are already done, so we can like skip those already ongoing activities, and we can focus on some new strategies or some neglected or like some new strategies. So avoid duplication. It is planning helps in that. Then wasteful expenditure. So sometimes while we do like repetitive activities, or sometimes for example you can say you reinvent the wheel. Okay, as those points now, a lot of resources are waste. Okay, not in terms of not only monetary terms but also logistic terms. So that can also be avoided. Now, what planning does, it also helps in problem prioritization. So if you have like a few issues or health concerns in a program you want to implement, you can prioritize, okay, what needs to be tackled on priority, or what needs to be done at first, and later on in like next phases, what can be handled. Develop a best course of action. So when we do planning, we always have backup plans A, B, and C, and we know like the from where we can from where we can get a like fast outcome, from where the implementation strategy can be smoothly run. So there are many aspects when we like plan. So for a single, to achieve a single objective, we have many plans, and we know like which plans is suitable as per our needs. That can be only done with the use of a planning. This is the more like purpose of planning, like which is like best suited route for all the activities or processes to be conducted. Now there are certain principles of planning. Okay, before planning, these has to be followed. So the first and foremost is it is based on careful analysis of the situation. First part is careful analysis. What comes in all these things? So basically, when we talk about health education, we need to analyze the situation in terms of like what is the need, felt need of that community or population where we want to do the intervention. So we need to see that. Mm, Just, uh, just, uh, just a bit. Hello, Nakon? Yes. Sorry, guys. Actually, it was about my son, so I have to pick it. It was urgent. Okay. So, yeah, analysis we do like where we want to do the intervention, and then also like what are the requirements. First of all we take care of them. Okay, so this is the issue. This needs to be taken care. Then in that only comes like what are the basic needs of people. Okay, and also their interest. So in last class also I talked about like what are the like felt needs. They are very important, and first and foremost we should understand what the community wants. You cannot just impose some strategies or some processes on the community. If it is need based only, then it will be helpful. Then one kind of resource is also the community. We talked about community engagement. So this is also very important. Like when we are planning any plan, any program in a community, so the people or the target population residing in that situation, first of all, though we should like, for example, I'll take an example of TB. Okay, so like in a yeah, dengue, we should take dengue. So if, for example, in a like a community, in a small village, you can say, in a village, we know like there are numerous cases of dengue. So it is the careful analysis. Okay, like yes, the number of like dengue are yeah, you can say this is endemic in that area. So after that, what happens if we see like whether the community there, they are interested to have some program related to that. And when we plan certain activities, for example, awareness generation program, then it has to be planned in consensus with the people who are staying there. Only after that it will be like successful. Then it should be like feasible and flexible. Uh, okay, and then it should be a continuous process. Okay, then there are certain other factors also which I am just telling you, like finances. So like funding is very important part, and then HR, and then logistic. These three things need to be taken care of whenever we are doing any planning. These are basic principles that we have to keep in mind. Okay. Okay, now there are certain steps whenever, and these steps are basically used not only in like not only for health education programs, but basically whenever we are planning any kind of health program, no, the steps they remain same. So as you can see, we have situation analysis, identify problem and prioritization, then setting objectives, develop plan of work, implementation, and last one is evaluation. So these 6 steps are fixed in any kind of program whenever you are doing the planning. So if we take the step 1, this is situational analysis. So as you can see, first of all, we need to identify the local situation. Only after that, when we understand, like, okay, at the ground level reality, what is that? So that needs to be identified. And after that, once we come to know about the facts and ground level report, only after that we can like assemble those things or analyze those things which are based on facts and which are pertaining to the local situation. And it is very important to analyze the data which comes from the, you can see some health data also, and along with that the field situation also. So need to corroborate both the data and both the situations and fact sheet, and then we can plan something according to that. Now the question comes, so what all need to be gathered? What all we need when we talk about situation analysis? So the information we want to gather, it is related to the community. Okay, about the people, their social demographic profile, topographic profile, these need to be taken care. Demographic and socio-economic characteristics. Okay, you need to conduct a need assessment. Like what are the, you need to conduct need assessment in which we assess like what are the requirements which are generated by that community. Okay. So what we do in community need assessment? First of all, what is assessment itself? So it is a process of identifying and understanding any problem, or it may be like multiple problems, set of problems, and then a number of processes or actions can be planned. It can be at one go or in series, so that the problem can be dealt. And so how we identify any problem? One problem, single problem, or as I have written, set of problems. So first of all, what is the problem? So if we take the example of dengue, so our problem can be dengue. Okay, you can say increasing number of cases in the area. Then magnitude of size of the problem. So this can be attributed by number of cases, or any morbidity and mortality rates can be part of this. Then severity of the problem, severity in the sense of if mortality and morbidity rates are very high, how much it is impacting the life. Okay, daily numbers. That is the assessment, like severity of the population. Then community practices, knowledge, attitude, and practices for behavior, service or resources which are available there. Then, as we all know, like many cultural practices or social influences are there with regard to the problem. Okay, so these also influence, and they may contribute in problems. Okay, so for this, what is the problem? So it is okay, but to know the magnitude or size of the problem, how it can be calculated. So we need data for need assessment. Okay. And there are two types of data, primary data and secondary data. I hope you all understand the difference between two. Hmm? Primary is when any person or interviewer, they collected by themselves. It can be survey or interview. And secondary data is which is pre-existing, and only we fetch it from the records or by other studies, okay, or from available records. That is secondary. Now, as the second step was identify problems and prioritize. So, first of all, how you are going to plan it. So the first thing which comes in the mind is, what do we have at the end of need assessment? Okay. So a number of problems are emerged out of need assessment. So of course, if you are going to do any situational analysis, there will be multiple problems or issues will be there. And then, since it is not possible that we address all the problems, okay, we can address only one or a few of the problems. So of course we have to prioritize. So like in case of dengue or malaria, hmm, uh, many things come, like for example uh, people complain about few things. If there are some cultural barriers are there, some geographical barriers are there, so you cannot like tackle everything at the same time. So we need to prioritize ki, at initial phases, what can be done which can actually help in reducing the problem's magnitude. Okay, now what is the criteria we use when we prioritize? So first of all, the magnitude of the problem means how widespread the problem is. That is very important. As I am telling you, like number of mortality or morbidity rates basically. Hmm. Severity of the problems, fatality, disability, consequences, daily years, if losing because of some issue. Then whether if we are like doing any prioritization, so the action we plan, whether it will be feasible. Hmm. How? In terms of course, time and resources. Now, of course, government is one of the very significant stakeholder when we go for any health promotion or education program. So we have to take care of the interest of government also. So do we have any policies already available there? Or maybe it might be like there are certain aspects to the problem which need to be dealt with. But as per the government policy, a few might be getting certain weightage. So we can prioritize the solution according to that also. Then community concern. Because whenever we are implementing any health education plan, so we need community participation. Okay. So for example, if we have like 2 or 3 issues or which arise from the community, they want to get it like addressed. So at least felt need based 1 or 2 can be taken in the priority, so that we can have active participation from the community. So in the example, as you can see, we can do like we are doing a situational analysis, for example, in a kasbah or in a village. So we can prioritize like which is the disease which has highest prevalence or incidence rate. Okay, we can number them as per their magnitude, and then we can see like which one needs immediate action or which one is like in our hierarchy of our prioritization list. Okay. Now, setting objectives. So we know like, okay, these are, we have prioritized the issues or health concerns. Now we need to set up certain objectives, like how we are going to handle the situation. So setting objective is very important, because based on that only we will develop an action plan, and we'll do a planning first, then we'll have an action plan, and based on that only impact and outcomes will be there. So as you can see, once the problem have been prioritized, the next step is to set objective. So for example, if you have certain objectives, so you know, you actually know like what will be your outcomes, or outcomes are your end products. So your objectives leads to a road, they follow a road which leads to the like end products in form of outcomes. So for example, if you don't have objectives, how will you measure the success rate basically? So the, like in simple language, you can say that of course, to understand the success rate, or whether we are deviating from any course of action, or from our end products, so you need a objective to follow the path. Hmm. Okay, so as I have mentioned, like it is impossible to evaluate a course or a program efficiently without clearly stating any objective. Now, what is a objective? What basically we talk about objective, but basically what it is. So there are many prerequisites or conditions which we know we can like formulate our we want. Okay, what do we want basically? Okay, to achieve. Then where the location, it is very important. Then what is the target group? Then when do we want to achieve? Okay, and extent of achievement. So for example, I was giving this dengue example. So in this case, what we want to achieve basically lower morbidity and mortality due to dengue disease. Where? So that will be in a specified location. Target group will be the local community. And basically, when do we want to achieve? So we make certain timelines for this. Then extent of achievement. Sometimes we place certain rates like this percent of population or certain goals. Okay. So as you can see, I have given an example. Excuse me. Okay. So the example is, if we want to increase immunization coverage, am I audible to all of you?
Yes,
Am
ma'am.
I audible to all of you?
Yeah, but some interruptions in between.
Acha, so just let me know, because na, that is why I have switched off the video also. Because today also, my Wi-Fi is not working. So I have connected it through hotspot. So
Okay, ma'am.
just speak, okay, whenever you feel na, because I am not like I don't understand, because I have like switched off the video also, no. That
Okay.
is why. Just let me know in case. Yeah.
Sure.
So I have given this example. So if we want to increase immunization coverage from, for example, 70% to 95% in the under 5 age population in a town, okay, and are by 2025. This is our objective. Okay, just an like draft kind of objective we have seen. So we now we have 5 criteria where we need to fit all the information. So what is our purpose basically? So it is to increase immunization coverage. Where, so in a town we can name. Then next is who, basically who we are going to address, the target population. Who will be the target population here? So it will be under 5 children population. Then when, what is the timeline we have decided? So for example, by 2025, these have, I have just like written some figures like that only. And then in extend. So this is what I am talking about. Sometimes we specify certain rates, like in this case, from 70% to 95%. So we can formulate an objective, okay, to increase immunization coverage from 70 to 95% among under 5 children in a town by 2025. This is how we like formulate an objective. Okay, now there are many type of objectives. What all are they? They might be health objective, behavioral objectives, learning objectives, then resource objectives. These are 4 differentiation or types of objectives. Now we'll understand them one by one. First of all, it is health objectives. So these are basically outcome objectives in which there are certain specific numbers are mentioned. Okay, health, whenever we talk about health, so of course it is the outcome can be measured either by, mostly by mortality, morbidity, daily. Okay, there are certain fixed criterias for that. So while formulating the objective, health objectives, the we have to keep in mind, like to describe how health status is to be improved. Okay, that is the, and health status can be improved, like in the previous example we have seen vaccination, immunization. So of course if we are taking certain preventive measures, so they contribute to a better outcome. That is why they are termed as outcome objective. So basically what they do, they are ends, okay, or represent the true bottom line of the program. As I told you, like whenever we talk about health status, there are some sharp figures there. Okay, by that you can calculate like whether there has been any improvement, or like for example in, okay, is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because sometimes it shows me it is unstable. Okay, so for example, to reduce infant mortality by 2/3 by the end of 2025. So as you can see, there is a target figure, proportion or figure is there when we talk about health objective. It is not vague, it is sharp figures. Okay. Now, next one are behavioral objectives. So these are basically some practices. Okay, behavior, you all know, like behavior is always gap, knowledge, attitude, and practice. And how you can see a change or change, it is by their practice. Okay, so this basically refers to actual things the program will encourage people to do or not to do. Means the program objective will be how they are going to influence the behavioral pattern of people. Example, to reduce cigarette smokers by 50%. So of course there is a proportion there, 50%, But as you can see, it is proportion. Okay. So similarly, there can be many behavioral objectives, na? Like utilization of services, or like in this case, leaving certain health hazards. Okay, adopting certain like lifestyles. So these can be included in behavioral objectives. Next is learning objective. As the name suggests, of course, it is knowledge, attitude, or skill development. So what happens here? So client should be able to describe the 3 ways of HIV or AIDS transmission. So in this, what is happening? We are imparting the knowledge, and then people are accepting and adopting that. Okay. So when we talk about learning objective, as we have seen that it is knowledge, attitude, or skill development. So as you can see, like in like we talk about CAP, knowledge, attitude, and practices. So in second one, behavioral objectives, we do a practice, whereas in learning objective, it is knowledge and attitude. Okay. Now there is a hierarchy of learning objectives. What are those? So basically, first one is awareness objective. Next is knowledge objective, then attitude, and at last, it comes skill objectives. And then what happened? It's not like it can be upward or downward. Okay, these you can say this hierarchy, it can be used both ways. Sometimes uh, we need to understand like what is the requirement. Okay. So as you can see, like awareness is always easier than to change knowledge, and knowledge is always easier than attitude. And skill building, it needs time. Okay, it needs a lot of time to adapt to certain actions. People need time. Okay. Now, next one is fourth one is resource objective. What are uh, resource objectives? Basically, here we see like the what are the like you can say services. Okay, services or resources basically are mentioned here. So as you can see in example, to establish a counseling center at the end of 2012. Okay. Or sometimes if we want to distribute, like you have developed certain IEC, certain booklets or certain things. So you have a mandate. Okay, we will be distributing this IEC material by this year. This much of like quantity of that IEC material, and a desired specified deadline for that. Okay. Or okay. Okay. Now there are certain things, some attributes whenever you are planning any kind of objective. So we talked about 4 type of objectives: health, behavioral, learning, and resource. 4 type of objectives. Now whenever we are planning any of the health objective, we have to keep in mind these like you can say these rules have to be, or attributes have to be taken care. This applies to all of them. What are these? Smart. Okay, so S, it stands for specific, simple. Okay, it relates to a specific event. Okay, so your objective should be specific, as we have seen in one of the example that it was very specific to reduce like increase the immunization rate in immunization rate in under 5 population. So there it was very specific in terms. The target population was very specific, and the rate for increase of vaccination was very specific. So it is specific, then it is measurable. Okay, measurable means you have certain health indicators which can be measured. Like in that case, we said like from what was it, from 70% to I think it's from, yeah, from okay, yeah, from 70% to 95%. Okay. Yeah. So then it should be achievable also. So I mean, it should not be like some kind of like a non-pragmatic approach cannot be used. The all the like your goals, your objective, they must be achievable. For example, we have mentioned that in that same example, that by year 2025 the immunization rate will be from 70% to 95%. If we say 100%, that is overestimation. It's not pragmatic at all. So that also it has to be taken care. Then R stands for realistic or relevant. Okay, it should be relevant. So for example, we are like saying, okay, how like the number of immunization cases need to be increased, but then it has to be realistic. In the situation analysis, we always like understand, okay, so if we want, like, there should be a resource mapping. So there should be logistic arrangement. There should be a cold chain. So these things have to be kept in mind before before lighting any objectives. Then it has certain activities which don't have a timeline when you are gaining whether the strategy was a success or not. So it has to be time bound. Kindly note this is smart. Smart is used everywhere in program planning or developing any kind of objective. Kindly always like remember them. Okay. Then while writing an objective, okay, while you formulate your objective sentences, few things have to be kept in mind. So you should not write, you should not use the words which might lead to multiple interpretations. Okay, they should not be used while you are writing an objective. For example, know, understand, appreciate, believe. Okay, rather than them, you should write words which have like less interpretations. For example, identify, list, define, differentiate, compare. So these are not very open words. Okay, they have like less kind of interpretation. Then how we develop plan of work. So first of all, what is a plan of work? Basically, it is any detailed schedule of activities to be done in a given period of time. Any plan of work, it should basically, yes, resource mapping, as I am telling you, resource mapping. So whenever you are developing any plan of work, so you have to like map your HR resources. What happens in that? Basically, you specify the role of different people who will be involved there. Then timelines need to be mentioned about, and then activities need to be mentioned as per the like timeline, and then which all methodology will be used. So a planning needs all these things: mapping of resources, logistic mapping, HR mapping, a timeline, and the methodology and implementation plan. These has to be part of development of a plan of work. Uh, Whenever you are developing a work plan, few things have to kept in mind. Action plan should be addressing all these questions. What are they? Basically, when should it start and when should it be completed? So a timeline, okay. Initiation and ending time are very important. Okay, so it has to be kept in mind. Then who does it? Basically, all the mapping of HR needs to be done. What available resources, what role, who is going to play what role? That is very, very important. Who is responsible for seeing it is actually carried out? What does it mean? You need to have a mechanism for monitoring. Okay, so monitoring is also very important, because until unless a monitoring of program is done, you just lose the track of the program or activity. And then how you know, like when you are doing some measuring, how do you know whether you are reaching the targets or not? Now, last one is what material and resources are needed. This is part of situational analysis, basically logistic mapping. Now, when we do implementation of the programs, what happens is that basically you have a blueprint in the planning, and now that blueprint is used and implemented in actual. Okay, so putting the plan into action is implementation. Basically, what it does from the paper, it is basically taken to the field, and but with adherence to the goals, objectives, and methods. Okay, that we follow these things, whatever is written in the blueprint. These are these are basically done, and methodology is used to achieve the objectives of the health program. Now, what is monitoring? Monitoring is so we have, when we do planning, along with that we basically make a monitoring system also. In that, what happens? This is systematic collection and analysis of information on project process. So certain indicators for monitoring are also established before the implementation of the program. So we know, like, we are adhering to the action plan, we are reaching the results in the desired time, and we are carrying out the activities. The progress of the plan is going as per the desired or as it was anticipated. Okay, it always helps to keep the work on track. Now, then also when we do monitoring, we came to know about any kind of problems, challenges, okay, which are faced during the implementation phase. And of course, as early as we identify the problems, the sooner they can be resolved. Okay, so it is very important to detect any kind of challenges or glitches in the implementation phase. Now, one thing is monitoring, and then evaluation. What is evaluation? Basically, it is the process of assessing whether the health education interventions are attaining their goals and objectives, which are predetermined while planning the intervention. Basically, in simple words, you plan certain things, like, for example, we want to distribute 3,000 posters in 1 year. Okay, by house to house visit. So if we how we are going to do the evaluation, whether actually they have been distributed. For that, there might be some checklist should be there, then some data should be there to corroborate that thing. So these things need to be taken care in evaluation. Two very important aspects of evaluation are effectiveness and efficiency. how effective the intervention was. For example, in a school, in a kindergarten, if we are doing skill-based training for simple hand washing in children, so effectiveness will be whether how many kids they have learned the technique and how efficiently they are using it. Okay. Now, Now, there are many models which are used in health education. One of the most, most important or frequently used is proceed model. Okay, it is most frequently used model to plan, implement, or evaluate health education and health promotion programs. It is very simple. Okay, and it was developed by Lawrence W. Green and his colleagues in year 1980. So what it is all about? So as you can see, this is a abbreviation for few things. As you can see, precede, it is predisposing, reinforcing, enabling, causes, educational, diagnosis, and evaluation. Whereas if we talk about proceed, this is policy, regulatory, organizational, construct, educational, environmental, and development. So this is the excuse me. This is the framework where we use certain set of attributes in precede and proceed. Now, what actually, how actually these are used in framework? Let's see them. So we have a diagram. Okay. So as you can see, we have in precede we have 5 attributes, whereas in proceed we have 4 phases. Okay, so how we are follow them. So the ultimate goal is what? As you can see in the left side, in the public health, what we do, we have imparting health education, and policy regularization is also very important aspect of that. Okay, then there are certain factors from the precede, okay, predisposing, reinforcing, enabling. So first of all, we need to diagnose the social issues. Epidemiological estimation is there. Then depending on the environment and behavior, behavioral and environmental diagnosis needs to be done, and then educational and ecological diagnosis, and then administrative and policy diagnosis needs to be done in the precede stage. Whereas in the proceed stage, what happens? We focuses on implementation, process evaluation, impact evaluation, and outcome evaluation. Okay, so 5 stages or phases come under precede, whereas the rest 4 comes under proceed. So this you can see, I have already discussed them. Yeah, so basically what we do. So as you can see, in phase 1, what happens? Social diagnosis. How, why? To basically improve quality of life. Okay. So in this phase 1, the quality of life is any problems or priorities. We understand them. Then what are the needs of the target population? How we can identify social problems basically. But the important thing is from social perspective, from the people point of view. This is very important in social diagnosis. Okay. Next is epidemiological. We all understand which has epidemiological factors. What are those? Like morbidity, mortality, risk factor, disability, incidence, prevalence, all these. Okay, objective data is gathered usually basically from secondary data or epidemiological data. So why we do this epidemiological diagnosis? Basically to create priorities among the problems or list of problems. Now, next is behavioral or environmental diagnosis. What happens here? Basically, it is to identify behavioral or non-behavioral cause of health problems. So, for example, if we take like there are number of cases of dengue only we take. So we might see like in the community there are like a lot of water accumulation is there. People are not adhering to cleaning of the water bodies. So that might be the reason. We need to identify environmental factors which seems to be linked to any health issues. Next is educational and organizational diagnosis. So in educational diagnosis, there are three things. What are those? Any predisposing factors, which are of course knowledge, attitude, and beliefs. Enabling factors, they include money, resource, time, accessibility, and availability, etc. And then reinforcing factors, any peer pressure. Okay, peer pressure is there. Whereas in organizational diagnosis, review the organization objective and focus on area that facilitate changes. Next is administrative and policy diagnosis. In this, as you can see, certain program implementation priorities need to be addressed. It includes assessment of all the resources which are available, and along with that, time limits, okay, or then stakeholder management also is part of this. And then there are certain, then of course, when we talk about administrative policies, so there are certain policies or certain rules which are there in the organization, or that needs to be taken care, because sometimes they might cause some certain barriers. Okay. Yeah. So what is the solution to this? Basically, we can design a comprehensive intervention plan. How? So in the precede phase, it ends with a comprehensive intervention plan, which is ready for implementation. As you can see, in this diagram, in the first 5 phases, precede, we already had a plan. In proceed phase, it only needs to be implemented. Okay. So basically, when you go to the second phase, proceed, you already have a ready-made plan. Just implementation, evaluation, impact, and outcome need to be assessed. Okay. Implementation, process, impact evaluation, outcome evaluation. So it is, of course, implementation is what? It is beginning of proceed. Okay. In this, what happens? Basically, as I have already shared, the objectives, they are changed into actions. Okay. It is the action phase. It translates the goal, objective, and by using a methodology into community-based education program. When we talk about evaluation, there are 3 types of evaluation: process evaluation, impact evaluation, and outcome. Okay, evaluation is again bifurcated into these 3, and what it is. So basically, when we talk about process, so we basically what we evaluate here, it is implemented, it is measurement of process. Basically, how the how the process was implemented. Okay, how any improvement can be done, assurance and control. Impact is immediate observable effects of program. what are these? Basically, changes in knowledge, attitude, beliefs, or practices. When we talk about outcomes, so these are basically long-term effects of the program, such as reduction in mortality, morbidity, prevalence of disease, and improved health expectancy. Okay, so I hope this proceed model is like understandable. Kindly use this whenever you have planning and evaluation. Please use this, will like really help you to gain good marks. Okay, so that was all from my side for today. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I think I have covered like most of the syllabus for this paper. Okay, in case anyone has any issues, just you can message me. Okay, I'll share the PPT. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye.